I now call to order the July 15th City Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll?
Councilmember Wilkinson,
Present.
Peach, Ray, Balding,
Here.
Stones,
Present.
Armstrong,
Here.
Mayor Erickson.
Present. Moving on to item number 4 is public comment. I have a couple forms here. The first one is for a Barbara Moody. I will come forward. Mrs. Moody, and
Thank you. I'd like to speak on the issue of backyard chickens. I gave a handout to all of you, which I hope you will read. I'd like to address the handout, which came from the U.S. News and World Report 2 months ago, the end of May. Hope you'll consider this information, and it's a very real health risk that they're talking about from the CDC, specifically concerning backyard chickens and salmonella. 2 families that spoke at the planning and zoning meetings said they specifically wanted chickens for their children. Obviously, they have been uninformed about the dangers, which specifically to children and those of us who are over 65. I realize some of you have already made up your minds about this ordinance and you choose to read it or just ignore it, that's fine. At the last planning and zoning meeting, Mrs. Lutheran stated that because of all the rules, there would be not many people asking for permits. She said 15 or 16. I'm not sure how she decided on those numbers, but 44% of those answering the survey said they were, quote, interested in raising chickens themselves. That would be more than 500. If half of those said they were interested, decided to take out permits, we're still talking about over 250. So I don't know where the 15 or 16 comes from. Also, at the last planning and zoning meeting, I hope some of you watched it, there were 3 more rules added to this ordinance. 1, notifying neighbors within a 100-foot radius. I'm sure that's because it's a warning to neighbors who have health risks, such as lung disease or cancer patients who are undergoing chemo and have compromised immunities. 2, including plans for storage, I guess for chicken feed. 3, a decommissioning process for those who decide they no longer want chickens. These are in addition to the 3 rules that were already in place: banning chicken legs for identification, number of chickens based on the size of your yard, and mandatory chicken coop inspections. Before you consider passing this, we, the taxpayers, would like to know how you plan to enforce these rules, which are useless unless they're enforced. At the P&Z meeting, someone mentioned the police might be involved, or Kayakota was also mentioned. I have lived in Indianola for 48 years. Over the last several years, we have noticed many code violations, some just blocks from where we lived. We asked repeatedly for someone from the city to notify the owners about junk in the yard or appliances in a front yard, or to cut down tall weeds or even tear down an abandoned house. It took months before anything was done. A couple of times the neighbors helped us to clean up someone else's property because the city was not responding. Each of you should be able to tell those that voted for you, I will not raise your property taxes in order to hire more staff to enforce all those rules for chicken owners. Mr. Lutheran stated at the planning and zoning meeting that he had rights and no one should tell him he could not have chickens in his backyard. Well, his neighbors have rights too. We should be able to grill out, watch our grandchildren play in the yard without worrying about noise, waste, odor, and disease. That will keep us all cooped up.
Thank you.
we'll also make sure that this information that you left, Ms. Moody, we'll make sure that it gets to Councilwoman Beach as well as Councilmember Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next one that I have up is James Welty from Post 165, American Legion.
I understand that there's going to be a new city hall in the works, possibly being built, and we would like to come here in consideration of possibly having something with the city hall, a place somewhere to honor Junior Edwards, which is our Medal of Honor recipient, right here from Indianola. The Medal of Honor is the highest award that a soldier can earn or be awarded in the United States military. There's only been 3,500 of them since 1863. And there's been over 4 million soldiers who have been in the military since then. We were looking at possibly maybe a naming of the city council chambers, the Junior Edwards, possibly a plaque. Even nicer if we could do something with the display cabinet outside the city hall chambers and do something to recognize Junior Edwards and his accomplishments. I guess it would be as far as you folks would be willing to go with it, whether it just be a bust, a cabinet, a plaque over the door, anything that would be done. But we really think that Junior Edwards would be good to have with the city council and have people see that. And we do have the one out at the cemetery, but I'm not sure as many people see that. So I'd just like to come and ask that if the city hall does come to fruition, that we do something to honor Junior Edwards within that. We tried to do it over at the courthouse, and it was just so many things. We jumped through hoops and tried and we couldn't get in there. I think we could be a little more responsive here and be able to do something. So I didn't use all of my time, but I hope everybody, has everybody been out to see the statue out there at the cemetery? And so we're all familiar with who Junior Edwards is. So it'd just be nice to honor a hometown hero. So I thank you for your consideration. And I'd like to hear, if you guys have any questions or anything we can do, anything we could submit. We've got his citation that we could offer you the work verbiage. We also had that statue made, so it might even be a consideration. A bust could be made off of that statue. All righty, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to working with you folks on it.
Absolutely. As well as we will have proclamation for Junior Edwards' birthday again.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Moving on, we have Jay Clark from Choice Therapy Services.
Yes, I, was here a couple weeks ago. I'm going to highlight a couple things and add a couple items to this as well. We're trying to build a small building for my wife's business here in town. As I highlighted 2 weeks ago, some of the new zoning requirements are making it very almost unlikely for us to be able to afford to build a building here in town. A business that's been here for 7 years and serving the community in mental health and substance abuse is the sole provider for the Indianola School District as well as the Warren County Jail System. I highlighted one of the things that was pushed to us by the city is the necessity to build or plant, 40 trees and shrubs on our lot. Our lot is 4/10 of an acre. Something that Charlie Dissel 2 years ago said would be about the perfect size for a building of 2,000 square feet. 40 trees and shrubs, my estimate from my contractor is $15,000. I quoted $10,000 2 weeks ago, but $15,000 is what he told me today. I'm going to ask all of you again, do you have any idea how many trees and shrubs or plants are on the IMU lot? IMU building here in town? You recall? Because I quoted it to you.
I know.
What's that?
Zero.
Zero. It's 20 yards from my lot. Turn it off when I mow here because I try to save money for our business. Zero. Okay? You're asking me to put in $15,000 worth, a nursery, in addition to the privacy fence between myself and the two adjoining houses. It's ridiculous. Okay? Now I ask you the question again, do you want us to build here in town? My contractor recently told me because of the new zoning requirements for setbacks, and again, I'm going to quote that Charlie Dissel said, 4/10 of an acre was a good size of a lot. Our building can be 10 feet wide because of the setback rules. So where am I going to build? A trailer or an ice cone, ice cream shop? Because I can't do anything now. Your zoning setback rules require the building to be 10 feet wide. You're asking me to put on stone or tier 1 and tier 2 outside, elements to my building on all four sides. But I can't put anything besides a trailer on on my lot now. I was here 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard a word from anybody until today, this afternoon. I don't know what to do. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do because the city just keeps on saying, here, deal with it. How is anybody gonna build here? How can a small business afford to build here, much less follow the rules that you're asking us to do? It's insane. It just doesn't make any sense. You guys got lots open up all on the south side of town here. Nobody's building. They're selling the lots, but they're not building. I've talked to the realtors. I've talked to the developers. So I don't know what to do. I asked your city planners if you guys would take in consideration the kind of business that we have, what we serve the community, and she said they're not supposed to. The last thing, I'm running out of time. You're asking me to put in $300 for an exemption. I don't have any problem really doing that. I think it's ridiculous because you guys are putting me in a position where I can't build. I bought the lot. So I have to do it, but you're not gonna do it until August 6th. So now I'm another month behind the schedule. We would have waited from 2 weeks ago to start building. Which means we're building in the wintertime, which costs us more money. So, Mayor Erickson, I would love to hear from you tomorrow. I'm driving all day long for my job. Call me, I'll find the time to come out and meet with you, any of the planners that want to. But something's gotta give or we're just gonna sell a lot. I mean, it's just, and then nobody can build there because it's a commercial lot. It's not a residential lot, it's commercial. So I look forward to hearing from you. Hope I do.
Is there anybody else in the audience this evening that would like to speak? None. Is there any items on the consent agenda that need to be pulled? Claims. Claims? Okay. Anything else? Can I get a first and second motion on the consent agenda to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item B, approval of claims?
So move. Second.
Okay, and Ben, would you give us a brief rundown here?
Okay, we were just having a discussion about pulling the claims because we only have 3 council members here. And so we might need to adjust that to pull one of the claims from the rest of the claims, so the rest of the claims could be. Sorry for the distraction there. That's my
Okay.
question on that part. Just go over the consent agenda really quickly. We'll be setting a public hearing for August 19th regarding building design alternatives and design standards. A resolution, setting a public hearing again, and another one on August 19th, proposed rezoning. Approval of liquor licenses for West Hill and insurance renewal, property and liability insurance, payment application for Vanderpool construction on the South Cape project. Resolution approving a payment project. Second consideration on the zoning regulations, second consideration. Regulations, second consideration on right-of-way vacation, second consideration on a right-of-way vacation for an alley, third consideration on the false fire alarm resolution amending the fee schedule to accommodate that fire alarm. Resolution waiving the right to review for a survey for Chad Daniels. This is the last one of these that you'll see because it is the regulation. That'll be him. Resolution to correct an error of transferring money. It was kind of a Scribner's error, but we wanted to. Approval of urban revitalization designation.
One comment. The, now that tend to vote against change order on South K Street. I know I understand the reason for the one on, which is a small one, but change order on that. If you read the information there, it's a road that's probably well over 100 years in age as far as the there. Nobody has any as-built or anything left there, so it's pretty normal that we're going to be missed by someone process, and so putting in a bigger culvert there. And
Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Gotta
did.
be a first.
You know, I want you to know that when we have these meetings on Thursdays and we see change order, we all say Steve,
Yeah.
you know,
I say the same thing when I'm reading it. so.
right? We all say it.
Hey, you know, consistency is important, right?
This is exciting times. All right, any other questions? Okay, Jackie.
Councilmember Dolly,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
All right, so what's the best way to do this? We'll circle back to the approval of claims.
So this, I guess, is for a payment for a conference.
Correct.
And is that reimbursement directly to you?
No.
For the conference? It's not. So I think it would be okay for you to participate in that and approve that, since it's not a checking.
Okay. Can I get a first and second motion to approve the consent agenda, or I'm sorry, approve item B, the approval of claims?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Jackie.
Councilmember Richardson,
Aye.
Dolly,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Moving on to item 6 under council report, item A is committee reports. We'll start with you, Councilmember Richardson. Do you have any?
I have none. I have two coming up this next week, so I'll have some in the next meeting.
I know that Councilwoman Beach is not here, but one of the things that she talked to me about and just kind of wanted to bring to all of our attention and for future planning, this is a future planning for like a CIP project is there's a lot of conversation regarding connecting sidewalk in the south neighborhood, off of Highway 65, 69, and connecting them to town because there's no sidewalks. People walk on the highway. And she just wanted me to bring that up to everyone's attention. So as we're looking at future plans, we have that. Anything?
Not.
Owens?
No, we do have a landfill meeting Wednesday though, so I have some.
I know that they did open up that new youth facility, which is nice.
Ready? It's going?
It's going.
Nice.
They're in their new office. We'll report after the meeting.
Okay, we'll move on to item B. I need a first and second motion to receive and file the June 2024 treasurer's report.
Second.
And is there any questions for our treasurer, Doug Shaw? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to item C, I need a first and second motion on the consideration of an appointment of Jamie Hansen to the Indianola Public Arts Commission for a term beginning immediately and ending July 1st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Becky?
Councilmember Richardson,
Aye.
Dolly,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
I need a first and second motion on the consideration of an appointment of Brian Williams to the Indianola Public Arts Commission for a term beginning immediately and ending July 1st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Becky?
Councilmember Armstrong,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
Dolly,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Welcome aboard, Jamie and Brian, just in time to help with the Indianola Arts Festival at the end of the month. Very excited about that. Moving on to the mayor's report, I'd really like to give Doug back there. Really like to give Doug Byland and his whole team huge thank you regarding the disc golf tournament. Of course, it looked gorgeous. There was so many people here in town, and just know it's a huge benefit to have that continuing to come here. Secondly, last week, Ben and myself, Emily, Charlie, Rachel, we all presented to the Iowa Economic Development Main Street, Iowa interviewing committee, and I felt like that went really well. We had about 14 of us participate in that, and we should find out here sometimes, hopefully this week, and then an official announcement in August. And then I had a MAC and MPO meeting to report there, so.
I would like to make one comment, and I shared this with Doug on this call. Had two conversations that I thought were pretty enlightening as far as I'm concerned. So on Saturday, I was out there and in the general admission area talking with one of the ladies that was checking folks in as they came in. She made a couple of comments specifically to the fact that she loves working down here. She loves working with Doug's team. Loves working with the people that run that, and it's a great event, and she's gonna volunteer as long as we have it here. So I thought that was a nice thing as well. Secondly, then I walked over to where the mission folks can sit in that elevated R3 that they have there. The lady was sitting there with her two kids just inside the fence, and she was making sure that people only with VIP passes could go in there. Started talking with her. She's from State Center, and her son, they come down here at least once a month, she says, oftentimes twice a month, because he loves to play the course. Her younger, he's in high school. Her younger son is in middle school, and he also plays. But I think it just goes to show, you know, how much that course really has play for Indianola outside of that true disc golf. And so, wanted to mention that, and again, kudos to Doug's team.
I guess one more kudos since we were talking about it. Vinny Anderson, he is going to be a senior. Indianola High School did compete as a pro in that. And so I think that's really exciting to see a 17-year-old out there and having that opportunity, but he definitely qualified for that, and it was great to watch him. So congrats. All right, we will move on right as my computer closed up. Under public consideration and old business, we have chapter 165 amendment. So you have a first and second motion to open the public hearing regarding a request to amend chapter 165 regarding construction, sales and services, contractor offices, offices for plumbers, electrician, HVAC services, or similar uses.
So moved.
Second.
Becky?
Councilmember Dalby?
Aye.
Solms?
Aye.
Armstrong?
Aye.
Richardson?
Aye.
All right, we are now in the public hearing and hand it off to you, Emily.
Off of this computer.
Sorry. Hey,
Ben Carpenter, owner of Integra Electrical, is seeking to move his business at 205 North Buxton Street to 215 North Buxton Street. Just some location that's currently located. 205 is currently located where concession stands, that multi-tenant commercial strip is. And then they're looking to relocate north of that in that building that looks like a residential building, but half of it is zoned for downtown commercial uses. The current zoning code does not allow for construction, sales, services, contractor offices, offices for plumbers, electricians, HVAC services, or other similar uses in the C3 downtown mixed use district. The applicant is requesting an amendment to allow for such use in the C3 zoning district. So this shows that proposed code amendment. This proposal wouldn't allow for indoor or outdoor storage within C2, C3, and well, it would with M1 and M2, but within the C3 zoning district, you wouldn't, if it was approved, it wouldn't allow for indoor or outdoor storage of such construction materials. That wouldn't include any indoor sales displays, such as platinum flooring. They sell flooring and they display that on site. It wouldn't disallow that with this. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval of the request as submitted, and there are 3 other alternatives in addition that the City Council can consider with that. If there are any questions or comments for staff to let us know.
My only question when I was reading that, Emily, was, so parking, is there parking in the rear of that building?
Of which building?
Of the new proposed
215.
building, yeah.
I don't believe that there is. The only thing with C3 is we don't require off-street parking, so none of the businesses downtown would be required to have their own off-street parking. That wouldn't differ between this property or another property in the C3.
They don't leave their, I remember Charlie and they don't leave their vehicles overnight either there, do they?
They come in at the beginning of the morning to, you know, line their crews out for the morning, and then they disperse throughout the day, and the employees take those vehicles home.
I mean, I wouldn't foresee it being a problem since it's literally right in the same location. They've had no problems with other tenants or anything, so. Any other questions? All right, thanks, Emily. Can I get
Need
a?
anybody else to speak on public?
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Yes.
This would be changing it for anyone in C3 then?
Yes, that's correct.
Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak?
You know, my mayor,
Yes. please go.
I'm Ben Carpenter. I'm the founder and president of Integra Electrical. Thank you for letting, even considering this, first off. I didn't want anybody to think that this was just kind of a half-wit idea I had. When the old Dr. Cooney office came up for sale, I actually looked at that right away and I talked with Charlie Dissel at the time, knew that we were zoning, substantial zoning issue there, as that building is kind of complicated and a little bit of a mess, but we got quite a plan to dress that up, really make it a nice place. Hopefully for us, if you guys will allow us the opportunity to do that. I've lived here for the last 34 years here in Indianola. I grew up in Warren County and I've raised my family here. I've lived in the same place. A lot of people know my house because we have quite a Christmas lights display every year right off the town square. My house is right there. I'm a big believer in the Indianola Town Square, and I've always believed that small business, this is where it comes to thrive, and I'd like to keep my business there. Now, when we opened Integra Electrical in 2006, we worked out of a home office, and of course, we didn't have inventory or anything like that. It was just kind of one man in a truck back then, and like so many small businesses. But when we opted to move, of course, we wanted to move to the town square, and at the time, we were actually approached by the building and zoning director at that time regarding the exact kind of zoning issue that we're dealing with today. And one of the things that we were asked was about inventory. And of course, we don't want to use up space around the town square for warehousing material. That's no good for anybody. In our business, we don't keep inventory. We keep all our parts and pieces on the truck. Then I think we already said that our trucks all go home with our guys, our staff. We employ, there's 13 on our team and we're growing. We actually employed another person today. And I think it's exciting to have small business come downtown and support the Indianola downtown, especially given that I think downtown has a really great opportunity to support just a wide segment of different businesses. I really, first off, really appreciate you all entertaining my request to change this and allow us to remain in C3 in downtown with our company. So thank you very much.
Thank you for investing in the downtown for so long.
That's my pleasure.
All right. Any other questions? Can I get a first and second motion to exit the public hearing? Second. Jackie.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
Dalby,
Aye.
Sims,
I need a first and second motion on the first consideration of an ordinance amending chapter 165 regarding construction, sales and services, contractor offices for plumbers, electrician, HVAC services or similar uses.
So moved.
Second?
Any other questions?
I just comment, I just think that planning and zoning and community development did a good job trying to figure out how to make this work. I think it's a good thing.
So too. And I think that given the timing too, it may be appropriate if this passes this evening that in our next reading that we forfeit the third reading. That's not the wording I'm looking for. What am I looking for?
Yeah.
Waive it. Thank you, that we waive the third reading.
As long as there's no other public comments.
Yes, so at least then they can get to work. All right, well, Jackie.
Councilmember Dalby,
Aye.
Sims,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
All right, we'll Congratulations, that's first reading. Moving on to new business, I need a first and second motion on a first consideration of an ordinance for establishing a reduced school zone on East Second Avenue.
Moved.
Second.
I'll wait, AP and gets ready. If you have a child in Indianola High School or middle school, you may have received an email that they will be parking during construction across the street. And so I want to thank AP and staff for being diligent and sure that we're considering the speed as those students are crossing.
Thank you. Main Council, this is Akhil Ishbal, Public Works Director. The school has made this request recently because of the ongoing construction, as Mayor said, ongoing high school construction. As a result, more high school kids will be parking on the opposite side of Highway 92. There'll be more pedestrian crossing on 12th Street. So the school has made the request to have a reduced school speed zone only during the school peak hours from the morning and afternoon. The current speed limit is ranging from 40 to 45 miles. What they are requesting is for a 30-mile-per-hour school speed zone. So they have made this request, but this is contingent upon Iowa DOT approval too. Iowa DOT is currently reviewing this request, and we have had discussions with Iowa DOT where they are open to this idea, but they will have to approve this request too because it's on a state highway. So depending on when the council or when Iowa DOT approves, we may, in the second reading, we may request for a waiver of the third reading. If we get Iowa DOT approval before the second reading, we'll request the waiver at the second reading. If not, when we get the approval, we'll come back to council for the third reading and then do the third reading accordingly. When this packet was prepared, we had no idea of the exact location of the speed limit signs. Since then, the school has confirmed the exact location of the reduced speed limit signs, which is 500 feet east and west of 12th Street, what they are requesting now. So when the ordinance was prepared, we had no idea of the exact location. So we are proposing to amend the ordinance, what's there in your packet, to include another section of the city code that needs to be revised as part of this to reflect where the proposed 40-mile-per-hour speed zone will be relocated. So as a part of this proposal, we have to relocate a 40-mile-per-hour speed zone 200 feet east of where the existing location is. So basically, what we are requesting you to do is make a motion to approve the first reading, also make a motion to make amendments to relocate an existing 40-mile-per-hour speed limit sign 100 feet east of the existing location. So basically 500 feet east of 12th Street is what we are requesting for.
Do keep into consideration that Iowa DOT might come back and may alter those parameters, and so that would need to be addressed potentially.
Do we have an idea? I'm guessing from what you said that we're expecting the DOT to have something soon, or do we know for sure?
We had a really good quarterly meeting with them. They've recognized the urgency and they are going through their approval process as quickly as possible. And so we're both running concurrently. We're just not sure who's going to get there first.
For them to move this quickly, they don't move that fast, so.
We have nothing but positive to say about it.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
We have an idea of how many kids are going to be crossing that street.
I believe their whole high school student parking is on the.
They will be offering shuttles, buses that will be, I think their main purpose is to try and have the kids ride the buses over. But we also know that there's a crossing guard that I believe it's full-time at the middle school, so. I don't mean like full-time as the crossing guard job, but works full-time within the district. And so I don't have that confirmed yet on the crossing guard, but I know that there was talk about that, so.
Kids aren't always going to be patient and wait for that shuttle.
No, absolutely not, no, and but I think this is a good step in.
Yeah. We know how long in the morning and in the afternoon the speed reduction will be in effect.
Yes, so I have to look back into the request. It's basically, we will have a flashing sign, a computerized traffic sign, which will put the timing, but I think if I have to go back and look into the exact details, but I think it's 20 minutes before and after the school hour is what they have told me, but I have to go back and see that request in itself.
And what are the maintenance costs that the city will be taking on? What do you anticipate for maintenance on this?
So generally, these have a long lifetime. They have anywhere between 30, 25 plus years, 30 years. Once you have that, we have other flashing signs that don't have too much of a maintenance. But having said that, there's utility companies that may come and bore through the wires, or there's an incident or accident that may drop off that sign, which is when our insurance company or we will have to make the repairs. But for the next 25 years, if there's none of those incidents or accidents, we don't anticipate too much of a maintenance of these.
And just from my knowledge, why isn't the school responsible for the maintenance of their sign?
It's a city right of way and a city asset. They're putting in the cost to put it in initially, but because it's maintained and operated by the city and as part of our overall network, we dedicate it to us. Kind of like a developer builds a road, they eventually dedicate it over to the city and fill off the lots.
Any other questions?
Councilmember Dalby,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Richardson.
Aye. My only question on that though is, did we get those amendments put in there or do we need to add those amendments?
They do need to be added by motion.
Okay, so
So we'll, yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say, if maybe the motion, either a second motion
Let's do a second motion, just.
to move the stop sign, the 200 feet as requested.
I would make a motion as Jackie wrote all the notes down there on the moving the stop signs.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second
200
it.
feet.
200
200
feet
feet
from
from-
East
Most
12th
of the
Street.
existing, yep. So 500 feet east of 12th is better.
Right, so do we have a second? Ron gave me a second. Yep. All right, Jackie?
Councilmember Dalby,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong.
Aye.
Richardson.
Good catch on that. Item number 2, I need a first and second motion on the consideration of approval of a home base Iowa application.
So moved.
Questions on this? Jackie?
Councilmember Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong.
Aye.
Richardson. Dalby.
Aye.
All right, I need a first and second motion on the resolution approving a plat of survey request for Chad Daniels for Lot 3 of the Indianola Industrial Park, Plat 3, 1604 East Orchard Place.
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Thank you. Emily.
Chad Daniels has submitted a plat of survey application on behalf of Indianola Industrial Park LLC for property addressed at 1604 East Orchard Place. The split would result in parcel A 4.05 acre lot that would be developable for an industrial type of use allowable in the M2 zoning district. There is an active site plan application in review by city staff for this site. The site plan proposes industrial manufacturing, production and services as it relates to an erosion control business. This shows the proposed plat of survey. Again, if it was approved tonight, it would result in parcel A 4.05 acre lot. The lot would be considered a corner lot with frontage along East Orchard Place and frontage along North 17th Street. The left shows the comprehensive plan designation. It does designate this area for industrial use. The right shows the current zoning for the property, which is M2 general industrial. The Planning and Zoning Commission did approve of the request as submitted, and then there are 3 other alternatives that the City Council can consider tonight. And if there's any questions for staff.
Any questions? Seeing none. Jackie?
Councilmember Richardson.
Aye.
Dalby,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Armstrong.
Aye.
Moving on to other business and city managers report. All right.
Okay, first of all, I just wanted to recognize that the president of the Indianola Community School District Board just entered the room. And just prior to you entering the room, the city council just passed a support for the school district's request to change the speed zone. And so we look at our continued partnership with the school districts being very positive. Likewise, it's my understanding that your board has passed a second SRO this evening.
That's correct.
And I don't know if I wanted to yield any time to you, if you wanted to.
We are all very excited about.
We are very excited. I just wanted to come to the council and say thanks on behalf of the school district for your guys' support. We're really excited to have a second officer in our buildings. School safety has been a priority in the district for at least the last 3 years. And again, tonight, we approved that as a top legislative priority for this upcoming school year. So thanks for being a partner and keeping our kids safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to our continued partnership. And in fact, this week I had the opportunity to meet with the new superintendent. Had a great meeting, talking about all sorts of different things that are on the horizon from the past, things that we're looking forward, working together on, and have a very helpful meeting. Great for our community. So good choice. Thank you. And I know she's also met with other city staff, and I think I'm not sure Mayor, if she's met you.
No, not yet.
I know she's wants to reach out. Lots of good things are happening. I know I sent you a middle of the night update, but just some of the positive things Mayor already mentioned, the Iowa designation presentation that was made. Like I mentioned earlier this evening, we had a great quarterly meeting with Iowa DOT to talk about several different projects and interests in working together and have a great partnership with them. And it's very favorable. I thought the meeting went exceptionally well. We also had the kickoff for the CDBG facade grant design architectural services that are going to be going on. And so that timeline, it's a federal project. Things are slow, but they're going to be doing a lot of design work, a lot of interaction with the business owners that would be participating in that. And so we're excited to see that kick off. We met today with our my mind here, that the consultant that's working on our IWC consulting agreement to evaluate how we can bring the IWC forward and make improvements there. And so that was a very positive meeting, and we expect them to make their report to the city council on the 19th. I also wanted to let the council know that, of course, that we're working on enhancing our transparency with the public when it comes to our financials, with the internal services evaluation of a new accounting ERP system. That will be coming to you in the meetings ahead. Trying to put a system in that's holistic for the entire city and city staff and all departments, but also something that can drill down and give more transparency for the council to help evaluate financials and for the community at large as well. We're actively looking to replace Charlie. He leaves big shoes behind, and so we had our first round of interviews, and we'll be having our next round. Lots of development agreements in the works, lots of interest in community enhancements and economic development opportunities within our community. And projects are moving forward full force. South K Street, Hillcrest, and Clinton Avenue, Franklin projects are all moving forward. Those have all been updated on our website, and a street closure document has been put together and map presented to the National Balloon Classic, because that impacts our balloon drivers, and so that communication effort has gone forward as well. And I'd like to extend appreciation to Aaron and AP for putting all that good work together. Unless you have any questions, I think that's the majority of the items I need to cover.
All right. Well, lots happening, exciting, so thank you. I need a first and second motion to enter into closed session in accordance with Iowa Code Section 21.51I to evaluate the professional competency of an individual whose employment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to the individual's reputation and that individual's request a closed session.
So moved. Second.
Second, all right. We will come come back at 6:50. That gives us 5 minutes to go to vote. Wait, yeah, and I guess we need someone to go ahead and call the vote. Jackie?
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Armstrong.
Aye.
Richardson.
Aye.
Dalby.
Aye.
All right, now we can take a bathroom break.